Good day, everybody, to Replay Roundtable, our first episode of this podcast. Featuring today is a movie called Midsommar. We will be reviewing it and talking about it in its entirety. Stay tuned till the end. It's going to be a great time. Please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy. And now, on to the video. Replay Roundtable. Hi everybody, welcome to the first podcast. So my name is Brody, in case you didn't know. Here with Will and Eddie.
How's it going?
Hi. And today we're talking about Midsommar, or Midsommar. I'm not sure how you'd say that. Midsommar or is Midsommar?
It's Midsommar.
Midsommar? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and also apologize to everybody else that's listening that this might be a little bit kind of gross out. It's our first time doing podcasts, so it might be a little bit weird, but we'll do what we can. Okay, so first we're going to go over the overall thoughts of the movie. I'm going to start with Eddie.
The first time I watched it, I loved it. I just recently watched it, actually today, and I can see its flaws a little bit more now, but I still do think it's a competently made film, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the first time I was just blown away. I don't know why. It connected with me and it resonated, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that movie is supposed to do that. It's supposed to connect with certain people in general. What about you, Will? What do you think?
I do not like this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I already knew that going in, but I'd ask you.
Yeah. It did not do it for me. I found it... I'm pretty sure part of the goal of the movie was to make you feel uncomfortable, which it succeeded at that, but the other part was I was also bored. So
yeah,
uncomfortable and bored just does not work for me for a movie.
Yeah, that's completely fair, totally.
Which I can totally see because, yes, the first time I watched the movie, I was so enthralled that I didn't quite get to the point where I was bored. But when I was rewatching the movie, I was like, okay, I'm getting a little bored here. I'm like, okay, I can understand some of the critiques on this now.
Yeah, sometimes watching things. You watched it only once. You watched it a bunch of times before, didn't you?
No, I'd only watched it once.
Okay.
I just happened to buy it before I watched it because I liked Hereditary quite a bit as well. I think Ari Aster is our star.
Ari Aster, yeah.
Ari Aster. I personally think he has a really good eye, and something rare for a director. He has he really focuses on sound design, which is something that a lot of people kind of just toss away and don't think about as much as, say, the visual aspect of things.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally agree with that. So my thoughts on Midsommar is it's kind of a wishy-washy thing for me. When I first watched it, I was like, what the fuck am I even watching? What is this? And but I could see the things in it that were cool. The cinematography is really well done. The music is amazing. And just the color palette is really bright and in your face. It just kind of I don't know. I quite like that a lot. But the story, it's not very good, in my opinion. I love the idea, and they could have done a really good idea with this idea, but they kind of, in my opinion, they flopped it. Because it's a lot of slow burn, like Hereditary. At least Hereditary had a crazy fucking ending. Mm-hmm. That kind of made it worth it going through it. This had nothing. It was just... It was just kind of it just kind of abruptly ended almost. All the kills were off screen, except for one. I'm like, okay, I want more of that. Oh, we don't get that? Okay.
Well, I think that I can understand that, but it's just such a different movie from Hereditary. It's not. I don't think it's trying to be in the same vein at all.
Well, no, not the same vein, but you can tell that Ari Aster is that. He likes to make uncomfortable films. It's kind of and both are about mental illness and just loss and stuff like that. I think more or less loss, but
I think.
For sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
I actually haven't seen Hereditary, so I can't compare the two, but Yeah.
You should watch sometime, and we can do another one of those sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I do agree that the cinematography is quite nice, and the use of color is well done.
Yeah, because you say the bright palette, but it also has like incredibly dark palettes in it. Too.
It does, yes.
I do have to admit that something that hooked me in with that movie is that, and this might be a little bit too personal, so that it might not like resonate with other people, but that opening scene is one of the most dreadful things I've ever experienced. And
yeah, for sure. Like that. Sorry, I'll let you go. Yeah.
And it especially it came at probably the reason I loved the movie the first time so much is that it came out at a time when I had like family members who were at that level of serious depression. Yeah. And I got cryptic messages like that and had to worry about stuff, and like just seeing that happen and seeing how like the like hyper realism of it was like just it definitely like hit me to my core kind of thing, and that's probably why I forgave the rest of the movie for being so slow and kind of tedious, admittedly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. I didn't have that connection like that, but that was, to me, that was the best part of the movie. Start.
So pretty much it starts off with like a winter landscape. And then the phone rings, and Danny is calling to see if everything is okay, because her sister has been sending some questionable emails, such as I can't take this anymore. Everything is black. Mom and Dad are coming too. Goodbye.
Very cryptic.
Yeah. Quite cryptic. The only thing I saw, after Danny calls her boyfriend instead of calling the cops.
Yeah, which I can't remember. I should have paused it, because I did pause a couple of parts that I was like, oh, what is that exactly, to like take a closer look, because there is like a bunch of foreshadowing in this movie. Like it's kind of
there is obnoxious. A ton.
The opening like wooden doors that open literally tell the plot of the entire movie.
It does. It's like, all right.
But I think the cops might have been on one of her like last calls on the phone.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I just remember that, like...
911 on there.
Okay, because I've heard from a few people, they're like, why didn't she call the cops? And I was like, well, I don't know, like, it's not really her fault, you know, but then like, as she'd be like, Mom and I are coming with me, goodbye, like, I'm also, like, I'm done, which means she's probably gonna do something bad, she's not picking up the phone, she's not answering emails, call the cops.
Well, I'm pretty sure that she did, though, because otherwise, how did they find them? Because it's not like they were decomposing. They
wouldn't have found them for like a while then, right? Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point.
I have to say that there is one character in this movie that I swear they designed to just be like, hate this man. Hate him with everything you have. Because he literally, everything he says is just like...
Garbage,
dumb. And like, the worst part is the other friends... At first, you think that they're being quiet because they actually agree with what he's saying, but they're just being quiet because they just don't care. Like that this guy's going off saying the dumbest shit.
It's true. I don't even understand why a lot of them are friends. You don't. No. I don't get the full because you know like when you see us, you're like, okay, that's why they're friends. But when you see like them, you're like, why are they friends?
They don't seem to like each other very
well.
Yeah. So the friends talk to Christian about how shitty the girlfriend is. Talking about thesis, be like, you gotta write your thesis. Like the black guys, what's his name again? I can't remember.
I have to admit I can't remember any of the names of the dudes because they kind of are all annoying.
I kind of just like blocked them out. But anyway, like he's always about the thesis. He's always about like that thing. And I was like, do you have any? You're just like a one-trick pony here. Like they're all kind of like that. But
yeah,
the other guy's like the comic relief. The black dude is. I want to know his name because I just hate people calling people about it. I'm sorry.
I'm on it.
Perfect. I don't want to keep calling him black guy.
But yeah, he's
Josh.
Oh, that's right, Josh.
Okay, so Josh, he's very much about the thesis thing about school and all that, and I don't know, and the boyfriend just sucks. I think the other guy, the douche guy, calling him the douche guy now. Yeah, we'll figure out his name in a second, but like he is also just like a comic relief, and he's
Mark.
like Mark.
Yeah.
Comic relief in quotations.
Comic relief. Yeah, very loosely. But anyways, so after that, then he gets a call from Danny. She's crying, and he's like, "Oh,
she is more than crying.
She's freaking out," and that made me feel really like that was a good, like, she's a good actor, obviously.
One thing that I hope neither of you deny is that Florence Pugh in this movie is phenomenal. Like her acting in this movie is like top notch. Even the scene before that when she calls Christian.
Yeah.
Like it feels so real, like a real conversation. It feels like, and it might not be as good on the other side. Like he's
very like one
he's
word
kind of like
shit.
Not giving her as much, but like holy crap, like
yeah. Well, and when he's like holding her at the next scene, like because he's breaking down and all that.
Her.
Yeah, and just like that whole part, like I was like, this is solid so far. This is like pretty good. I mean, like it's a horror movie. I thought anyway. I guess it kind of is, but so the characters are kind of like you can see like one's the comic relief.
I would more call it a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
psychological
or
thriller,
maybe a despair movie.
Yeah, for sure. Then after that, the next day, then she's like waking up at the couch, and boyfriend, fucking, what's his name again?
Christian.
Thank you, Christian. Yeah. Christian goes to the party. He's like, I'm gonna go for like 45 minutes or whatever. And she's like, I'll come with you. He's like, I thought you were sleeping. She says like, nah, I actually wasn't sleeping at all. So they go to the party. They talk about going to Sweden. And she's like, oh wait, you're going to Sweden? He's like, yeah, we're thinking about it. We're talking about it. Yeah. And then they go back to the house.
Well, they actually also they allude to the foreign guy.
Yeah, the foreign guy, Pele.
He seems. This is the first point where they kind of show that he's interested in Florence Pugh's character.
Yeah.
Because I think that somehow, even though it's happenstance that she actually ends up going, somehow he was like hoping she would.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the half the reason that is later on, like we'll talk more about that later, but like I think he wants her more than just for himself. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then after, so then they go back to the house. They talk to each other, and he's doing the whole classic manipulation thing where like she's like very justifiably so pissed off about the fact that he didn't tell. He's like, well, I mean, I talked about it. It's like, but yeah, but how would you feel about if I said like, so I'm gonna go to Sweden. I'm gonna go to like my. If you heard in a party that like my friend was like, oh yeah, we're going to China like in like 2 weeks. For like 2 months. He's like, it's gonna be a month and a half. And it's like that's not okay. It's like not how is that different?
Not any better.
It's not any better. Yeah, exactly. And he's just like, maybe I should just go home. She's like, no. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm like, holy fuck.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, he's a gaslighter. Like there's I mean,
I can't say that I've never done that because I don't do it on purpose. But I when I watch it, I'm like, oh shit, I've done that.
I mean, their whole relationship, he doesn't even want.
Yeah,
and that itself is kind of gaslighting.
Like, totally, for sure. Yeah,
like I can understand partially because she is someone who clearly has a lot of trauma in her life.
Yeah, and
he might be justifying it by saying, "Well, if I leave, like, what if she, hurts herself, or what if she?" And it like makes it even worse that at near the moment when he's trying to be done with her, that's when she loses her whole family, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So and he feels trapped too. I understand that.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. I was like, this guy fucking sucks. And I'm like looking through it into the movie, and I'm like, he does suck. But sometimes where it's like he's actually not that bad. Sometimes until like later, you're like, wow, this guy fucking blows.
I mean, like later when he's like, I'm gonna dude's thesis, and he's like,
I was like, okay.
Although it depends. Like, maybe if you believe that, well, we'll get to it. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So then, so they meet at the next day at their whose apartment? I think it's Mark's, Josh. I don't fucking know, and Pele. I don't know. But they meet at like the apartment. They talk to each other, and he's like, Christian's like, oh yeah, well, I invited her, but she's not gonna go. And it's like, okay.
That scene also is the first inkling that it's like, oh, this movie might not be as like, because like. I find like Ari Aster puts together really good stuff, but that scene is like the first inkling that maybe he was dropping the ball a little bit, because he literally stands outside the door talking about her for like 5 minutes as she's like sitting there after she's knocked on the door. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
right. Like, where was she?
I'm pretty sure she can hear you guys. Like,
Or was she like parking the car? Or what's
yeah,
going
no,
on?
I'm pretty sure it's from a door knock. And like,
Yeah.
there's no knock or anything. He just turns around, opens the door, and she's like, "Oh, hi."
Yeah. Also, I noticed, like, 'cause a little bit later, like, there's like, we'll explain this a little more later on, but like, as it's sprinkled on throughout the movie, you can see things in the background. Like, there's a lot of scarecrows in the background, if you've noticed.
Yeah.
Which, there's some like scarecrow shit later on. But anyway, so then they fly to Sweden, and that whole thing where Pelle's talking to her about like, oh, I'm glad you're coming and blah blah, and then he's like, I've lost too, like, I know what you're going through. She's like, no, gotta go to the bathroom. Once it goes to the bathroom,
Oh, that
it's like
transition is awesome.
Yeah, the transition shot from like going from the outside into the
plane
bathroom. Yeah, that was a good shot. And then after that,
Well, I actually like that whole sequence because it's, in my opinion, really gives you the feeling that she is like disassociating while they're still like on this trip. And
Yeah.
she's like disassociating so badly that it just feels like it's like happening.
Yeah, exactly right. So then after that, I think they land and then they drive and they're like, then Mark says, it's like, what is it about everybody being so hot than what we have back in America, wherever? Then like Joss says some weird shit about being like, because the Vikings bring all the really good women over here or something. I thought it was a weird line.
Well, yeah, it was something about how in the past, like,
yeah. I was like, why is it happening now?
Well, it means that like they took the most beautiful women from other countries, and so that ended up being in the gene pool of the ancestors of these people. That's what he's getting at.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So then the next shot is this one is a good one to talk about because some people find it very, very artistic. I find it dumb because
the upside down camera.
Yes, because when the car is going, it goes upside down, and then you're like, okay, I feel disoriented looking at it, and that's kind of the point. And it's just being like, oh, now things are turning upside down. I get that.
Well, no, I mean that's what I was talking about with the whole sequence, is that she's like disassociating, and like when they're in that car together, and those two are talking about the stupid Viking bullshit that's like nobody's interested in, really. She goes, how long is this car ride? 4
hours.
I was like, 4 hours. So yeah, I was pretty sure what he was trying to convey with the upside down, like kind of spinning the camera and stuff, is that she was like completely trying to stay out of it and like not pay attention to the fact that she was trapped in this car with these bozos.
Could very well be, for sure. But I know there's some of them behind it, and I just think it's like some shots, like, yes, you could be like, all right, this is going to be cool, this is going to convey what I want to have for like the overall emotion, but it's just a bad shot.
I thought it was fine.
Like, I just like, I don't like looking at this. Like, it's hard to look at. It's upside down. I'm like, you know. I personally didn't like it. I'm like, it's just like, you can turn the camera upside down and call it artsy. It's like, I don't know, personally. But
I mean, he didn't do upside down a bunch. He did it.
Well, he did it the one time. How many times did he do it?
I think that's like one of the only times that he uses up, like, full on upside down.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, totally. But it's just like, I don't know. I thought it was just kind of. It's just like, because some people say like, is this deep or is it dumb or is it both, kind of thing, and it's just. I think it's like it's deeply dumb sometimes, where it's like it tries to be so deep it's dumb sometimes.
I thought that shot was fair. I thought it was an interesting shot, and it helped break up some of the monotony of the story.
Fair enough. Okay.
For sure, the biggest complaint about it being boring, like, I can't defend it like very much, because it is. It is very, very slow.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we at right now? Okay.
Now they're getting high in a field.
Yeah, that's right. They decided to drop mushrooms, and she's hesitant at first.
Yeah, so they drop by.
But and the moment that everybody starts complaining, she just gives in.
Yeah.
Which is not good. And her boyfriend shows up, kind of starts to show you how shitty of a boyfriend that
like, at first, he's okay, because he's like, oh, but we're gonna go together, kind of thing. Like, we'll do it like at the same time. And he's like, and then Mark's like, well, but it's gonna be all separate trips. It's gonna be all like we're gonna have like a separate thing altogether, and won't be connected or whatever the hell. Yeah. It's like eventually he gives in because she gives in, Are you sure? Something. He's not being totally shitty because he's trying a little bit.
Man.
In certain
He knows
areas,
how fucked up she is right now.
yeah.
He could have literally been like, Mark, shut the fuck up.
No, totally.
Who cares? Like, it's mushrooms. It's gonna last a while anyway. Who gives a shit? Like,
yeah, right. And then the thing I never realized before until after I watched this one again is when they're like sitting there in the field and they're like, "Oh, I'm high right now. What time is it?" And like 9 p.m. They're like, 9 p.m. I can't. That's not possible. Well, yeah. What do you mean? It's like it's still light out. It looks like it's like noon or whatever. It's like, yeah, because of like the double sun or whatever. I can't remember, or double moon or whatever the hell it is.
I think it was because it's so Midsummer would be the summer solstice, right?
Yeah.
So it's the longest day of the year.
Is it day or week or is it day?
Well, the solstice is like a specific day, but so it's the longest day of the year. But I think they're so far north too that that day is extremely long. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because like I was thinking like to myself like especially if I was doing drugs on that and like it would never get dark. I'd be like, am I in the Matrix right now? Why is everything? Why isn't it getting dark?
I will say one thing about this movie, and it happens throughout like the rest of the movie. It has one of the most accurate representations of psychedelics I have ever seen in the film.
Yeah, when things go like zzz and kind of like move and shit.
And like it's the subtlety of it. It's the way that like sometimes you're like, is that moving? Is that actually filling up and like breathing? Like I can't be 100% certain for a second. But,
yeah.
Like some things are obvious because they're like flaring out, but then other times you're like, what? Did that move?
Yeah, it's like this guy may have been high before. Probably.
Probably.
Seems likely.
Yeah. One of them, I think Mark says, "You guys are my family," and the moment that family is mentioned,
Yeah.
she just instantly has a trigger and she fucking
I didn't notice
boots it for the boot. Oh yeah, she boots it for the bathroom. That's what this movie is about. This movie is literally about family. That's like the entire purpose of this movie, and it throws you off because at the beginning it's like horror, despair, and then all of a sudden it's like, no wait, this is about family. Even though throughout sprinkled there's also like, oh my god, this is like fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, she. I'm curious what the woman in the bathroom is because there's a woman in that bathroom and it shows it for half a second.
Oh, what's this?
And then she boots it out, and
You don't know what? You don't know what it is?
yeah,
It's the sister.
was it the sister?
Yeah, like when she lights up the whatever the candle
It
or.
looked like an old woman though.
If you pause it, it's the daughter with the hose in her mouth.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that either.
It looked like an old lady to me. So
You're like,
I was like,
why is there an old lady in
"Why is there an
here?"
old lady?" Yeah, well, it makes sense because she's on mushrooms. She was just triggered.
Yeah.
Like, and the whole thing when she's running is literally trying to stop herself from thinking about what just happened.
Yeah, exactly right. So then after that,
she wakes up and she's like, "Did it get dark?"
Oh yeah, and it's like, yeah, you sleep like 6 hours. It's like, so is it tomorrow? It's like, I mean, yeah, and from another day's perspective, it's like, okay. And they walk through like the forest to get to this place, and they talk about ticks or something, and the fact that like their grandfather or whatever died from like Lyme disease or something like that. And it's like, yeah, I'd say that like my grandfather too is also he has Lyme right now, and he wouldn't say it's very cool that or he would say that picnic in the trees was such a good idea or whatever. And I'm like, fair enough. I mean, I like that kind of talk sometimes where it's like
it's just like random banter.
It's random banter, which is fine, but like majority of this movie, the people stop talking a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Like what I've noticed is Mark has some quick little quips sometimes, very rare, and then Danny is usually just having like her crisis, and then Christian is kind of just there as well.
Being an asshole.
Yeah, being an asshole. Like they do talk, but just like as you know, it's like a lot of the people that are like talking are the people in the commune because they're explaining shit and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I actually find that the exposition in this movie isn't that badly like
It's not terrible.
Not that badly like obviously just like blatant exposition scene.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. It's not just like we're just. It doesn't feel like they're just explaining stuff to you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's like the point of exposition, at least for me, like when you can make it work is when you have something like, for instance, if you go into a commune and they tell you about their thing, because obviously they tell you because you have no idea. But if you already know and you tell people that already know, and you're like,
oh, like the classic
as you
exposition.
know,
as you know.
To be fair, though, I do use that sometimes. Like in life, I'll be like, so you may know, or like as you know, kind of thing, just to bring it up again. I'm like, I fucking do that in real life. So, so I'm like, it's
But
like,
yeah,
You might be the exception to the rule there, Brody.
yeah.
You're like another. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think I've ever heard anybody else say that. Yeah.
And then they meet up with the rest of the commune, right? They actually get to the main commune.
Yeah, and they meet 2 other pikers or something, right?
Well, they meet another
Connie and some other dude.
Yeah, but they
Yes.
met them back in the field.
Yes.
Yeah, and they just followed them.
Introduced there.
Followed them there. Yeah, okay. And they get there and they get introduced by like the commune and all that, and then
Yeah, and the one of the like older leader guys comes up to Florence Pugh's character to Danny and like is like basically trying to say like, yeah, I hope you enjoy your time here, and like is clearly like focusing on her if you notice, and like doesn't really care about the other people there.
Yeah.
Just hinting that she's special for some reason.
Exactly. Like, I mean, it's weird though when they first come in. I was expecting kind of them to give everybody the cold shoulder except for her, but like the guy gives like a hearty handshake to all of them. Like, and it's like, dude, it's all good. It's all good. You're gonna die later. It's all good. Like, good to meet you. You might die later.
Yeah, I mean, I think the characters who die kind of earn their deaths in this movie.
Okay, well, let's talk about that in a second, because I want to know about that, because I don't fully understand that. Some people, some people I'm just like, I don't think so, but it just depends. Let's see. Oh, right. They are next. They see a bunch of people dancing around, and they're like, oh, what are these people playing? Or what are you folks playing? Oh, yeah. Playing the music. That's what it is.
They're supposed to be like the young people, but there are some like adults in the line. But they're playing some sort of game.
Yeah, and it's called Skin the Fool.
Yeah,
is what it said. It's like, so what are you playing? Skin the Fool, and I'm like, foreshadowing. Okay, foreshadowing. Got you. And I mean, like,
as Mark gets skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if I don't remember this correctly, and if I bypassed it, and they did that for like. Not every single death is going to happen, but they kind of like foreshadow it in a way of being like, yeah, these like, because it's all about, what is it, like I want to say that, but well, the way that they're doing about it, like there's some sort of ritual, right? They're doing this whole thing to do something.
Yes.
And so like that would make sense. They're dancing to like, be like, oh, they're here. We're gonna, and this is the dance of I'm gonna skin you now of this other dude, and that's part of our thing. So they did like they may not a dance for each one, but if they did some sort of like celebratory thing for each thing they're gonna do to them. That'd be kind of a neat thing if they try to do that personally, because that the Skin the Fool thing just seems like out of nowhere because it doesn't get shown anywhere else. It's just basically there to like give just foreshadowing of that one thing, and it's like it'd be better because like for me like this whole thing is just like a ritual thing, so you think everything need to be done by the book and done properly, and like that seems like this would be part of the ritual. Nothing would happen. Part of the ritual to like do these things, like you're praying to your god or whatever, doing your dance to your god, being like, we're gonna do this thing. So I thought that was kind of out of place, but I mean, it could have been in place, but it was kind of just there.
They do mention later that their whole their whole belief system is constantly evolving because they keep. Well, we can talk about that.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah,
but some interesting things they do.
Oh yeah. And then they go to.
They get settled in like their little housing.
Yeah, the same little house. Yeah, in the housing for sure.
Yeah.
And then Pelly's like, in the field when they were dancing around, and Pelly's like, oh no, Christian says, is it okay if we like dance with them, whatever? And he's like, yeah, I mean, you're American, just jam yourself in there. I'm like, god damn it, okay, like you had to just like throw that in there, didn't you? Like jam yourself in there. Maybe
I mean, that's also foreshadowing.
I didn't even realize that. Fair enough. Okay.
I mean,
it's like in his face, he's like,
and it is that girl that kicks him that makes him notice like the game, like when he makes him want to join it.
How did I not see that? Okay, that's funny.
And I mean, technically the Pele guy, he like, he calls them all like brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, oh, my sister likes you later.
Yeah. And so when they're in the place where they're sleeping, and then they like, oh, we show you your sleeping quarters. Pele starts talking to her, being like, "It's your birthday," and I think she says, "Oh yeah, I didn't remind Christian. It's my fault," or whatever. And it's like,
just showing
What?
that
Like-
clearly that relationship is even more gaslighty than we see,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
because like why would she think that way? Why would she immediately blame herself for him forgetting her birthday unless he blames her for everything?
Well, at first I thought it was like kind of lazy to do it that way, of being like she seems like just overly like, no, it's my fault, all the stuff like that. But I'm like, people are out there in relationships like that, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, so that's not completely out of the norm and a thing that can actually exist. So at first I was like, that's kind of dumb, but now I think about it more and I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then after that, I this is where the end of my notes basically. So I'm just like, all right, because
I've had enough taking notes now.
Yeah, pretty much.
After that,
they walk by. They walk by the bear cage. Like we're not going to like, address the bear in the cage there. And they're like, it's a bear. Don't worry about it. It's like, okay.
I mean, he's not wrong. It is
just
a bear.
Yeah, but I want to know, like, what do you do with the bear? And then they even like the tapestry shows like the whole of the love
happens
spell
to
thing.
Christian, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, what's this? Like, they actually like go and look at it as it pans. Like, you saw it. How do you?
But that's Connie and the other guy.
Is it?
Yes, it's the two campers or the people that the other guy brought. Yeah.
Okay, well, even so, like I would be like, that's
Connie
fucking
and Simon.
Connie and Simon. Okay, because I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, this is fucked up.
I mean,
Like-
yes, but also they're in a, if you went into like, a place of like worship or something and you saw something that was like weird, you're not going to immediately be like,
Yeah.
hey, what the fuck? Like,
Fair,
most
but-
people will be like, okay, that's weird, but I'm just going to keep that to myself.
Might have been some weird old practice that nobody
Exactly.
does anymore. You don't expect them to be still practicing
throwing
where
pubes in
Yeah, that's
pies.
fair. Yeah, and when they go to the to the lodging area, you can see on the walls all the things that were going to happen, kind of thing. Like you see the skin suit. I will talk about that a little later, but there's like a pair of legs on like just in the background, and there's also just like a bear like on fire and shit like that, and just like. I'd be like asking all kinds of questions, like, "What's this? Like, what does this do? What are you doing here?"
I mean,
like,
with this, you kind of have to assume that both Christian and Josh were both probably like off-screen asking people things about this stuff, like
Yeah, I
because they
guess.
were writing theses about.
I would like to see
the
more of that,
culture.
but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you're saying before I cut you off about talking about this thing, say what was next?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, sorry.
It was I can't remember if they do something else or is it. Yeah, I think they settle down and then the next day is where they go to the rock. Oh no, they have the dinner first. They have the dinner where the two old elderly members of the
Yes.
commune come and it's their dinner that honors them.
Yeah, that's the day after.
Yeah, the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they it shows their customs of like how everybody waits for them to sit and everybody waits for them to grab
Yeah,
their utensils.
yeah.
and
yeah, I
stuff.
loved how it was like all like in a line.
Yeah.
They did the and everybody just did it like in synchronicity. Well, slightly off. So then it's like kind of like the wave.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite shots in the movie is because he did it really well that as it pans up it follows the movement of the grabbing of utensils and it's really well done.
Right? I've always wondered like how long that would take.
I'm thinking that took a couple of tries. You're like,
How many shots did this actually take?
Didn't get the timing exactly right with the camera, so we got to do this again. Everybody reset.
Yeah, like side note, like in The Shining, there apparently the scene where you both seen that, right?
Yeah.
When Jack is flipping out on the girl, whatever her name is, I can't remember her name, and she's like going up the stairs with a baseball bat, and he's like, he's like, I just want to bash your head in, kind of thing. But that was like 150 takes, something like that.
Wow.
And they did that to like get her at her most like hysteria, like I'm done with this, like
I
kind
love
of thing.
Kubrick movies, but he was a maniac.
Yeah, Kubrick. The more you think about it, he's like, it's like, yeah, he manipulated all like the woman and try and get people to like stop talking to her and treat her shitty around in the on set to make her feel more outcast kind of thing. I'm like, that's shitty. Don't do that.
I mean, there's horror stories from almost every one of his movies.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
Like at some, but like I love making movies, and if it's no longer fun, it's no longer worth doing.
And
you know
also, like, that's like forcing someone to be method.
Yeah.
It's all right if someone chooses to play method, but you can't force someone to be method.
Exactly. Oh yeah, right. I wanted to mention before is the night prior when they're like, so what's tomorrow? It's like, tomorrow's a big day. What's happening tomorrow? It's like, Pelle's like, you'll see. And then like Josh, that's his name, right? Josh?
The guy that's like obsessed with thesis and stuff?
Yeah. Okay. And he's like looking at everybody, and he's just like, Christian looks over to Josh, and Josh is like, kind of shrugs his shoulders and kind of looks at him, being like, with his arms crossed behind his back when he's like laying in bed, being like, there might be something happening. Like, he knows. He obviously does know. It's like, why didn't you tell anybody?
Yeah, I feel like that is one thing, because it seems like, well, we'll get to it. So yeah, because after that we go to it's the next day is the dinner thing.
Yeah,
and then they go to the like sacrificial rock, right?
Yeah, and I like the whole like I guess you call that a scene in itself. It's that whole like sequence. Thank you. Is like I quite liked it with the music and how it's portrayed and all that, like how it's building itself up. I quite enjoyed that. It kind of brought me into that kind of feel that like you kind of knew what was going to happen. It wasn't be like, oh, that's like, I'm surprised because I knew that was going to happen. But what'd you guys? Oh yeah. So anyway, so like I'm gonna go on top of the like the everybody else is down below, and there's this big cliff, and there's the two older people are on top. Mm-hmm. And eventually they both jump off and kill it themselves. One goes like, the woman drops down, smooshes her face on the rock, immediately killed herself.
Yeah.
And what did you guys think of the practical effects on that?
They were pretty grotesque and vivid.
Yeah.
like I didn't like the hammer smush on the guy's face. I thought it looked rubbery and weird.
Okay, I can see.
Yeah,
but,
that makes sense. I mean,
aside from that, it was good.
That's fair. Yeah, because like when she smashed her face on the rock like that, like it was only a split second when they show her body lurch back and you see like the face. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucked up. Like,
which is probably why it looked better than the hammer part, because the hammer part it kind of like
it focuses
on it a little bit.
You see it for a little too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the guy goes, and then that next dude like goes down feet first, which I don't know why you'd do that. He's just like straight down, legs broken. He's like, and it's like, oh, that's brutal. And it's like, oh, there's mallet guy. I guess that's what he's for. Okay.
Yeah.
And he comes over and goes smoosh, dead. But and then after he's like, I'm gonna give it to other people to smash too. And I'm
so
like,
it must be some sort of ceremonial thing where they like have to have multiple people hit him so that like not one takes the blame for the killing of this guy, right? So it's still just part of
that makes sense.
That does make sense. Kind of except for the last one where it's like he did it, the other person did it, and then after that the face like on the ground. It's like I don't think that last one's gonna do anything. Like you're not a part of this at all. You're just going like, well, I just want to smash some flesh.
I do really like about I mean like this is the whole reason I like the movie is because of Florence Pugh. One part I do like in that scene is her reaction the whole time is like really good. Mm-hmm. When she realizes what's happening, and then it doesn't immediately show the woman like getting ready to jump. It actually follows her face, and then it cuts to her grabbing Christian's arm.
Yeah,
and then it immediately just cuts to her going off the edge. Like
that was good
without the prep of like her walking up to the edge and like getting ready to jump.
They're just like, yeah, like that was good. I quite like that.
I love how nobody questioned the random guy with the giant mallet.
Yeah, like why is this guy not? Why is he with a mallet? Yeah, like that'd be good.
Are we hammering some spikes in?
Yeah, and so the guy's like looking over, like, well, you'll see.
And this was the part I wanted to talk about.
Building the railroad.
I feel like maybe they were supposed to tell them more, because when the two other outsiders start like freaking out,
which
the one like leader lady comes up and is like, why didn't you tell them anything? Like, why did you not explain this at all?
So it's like self-aware,
and it's like, well, not even just that, it's just like I feel like Pele and the other guy that had brought what they refer to later as New Bloods, like they didn't do their job properly.
Yeah,
it feels like.
Later, Pele even says he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you more.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't explain this better.
That is true, and I think a good way of thinking about it as well is, at first I was like, that seems stupid. Like, why wouldn't they tell like their friends about this? But maybe like Josh has read a lot about it and knows about the stuff, and he's like, oh, this could be interesting to see, whatever. But then when it actually happens, you're like, oh fuck, kind of thing. You just like, you wanted to like see everybody's reaction, but you didn't think it'd be like that bad for some reason, I guess, maybe. But
maybe they thought it was going to be more of like a, euthanasia situation instead of like ritual suicide, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like with one last portion of that was when the mallet goes down the guy's face. Apparently that was like a fully, I mean, obviously how else do you do that? But apparently it was like an animatronic face that like could collapse on itself.
Oh, okay.
Which was, I quite like that. And apparently like just because like in one of the dreams she's having or whatever, apparently it goes backwards.
Yeah.
Where it like, reforms.
Yeah.
I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's funny because like I was watching it last night and I had the subtitles on, and when like the sound goes out and everybody's freaking out, and the outsiders, I guess, what's Connie and what's the other guy's name? Simon.
Yeah.
Simon's freaking out, but like it's very muffled. You can't hear anything, but the subtitles are very clear. And I'm like, well, that'd been good to see my first time watching this without subtitles. Like, be good because like without subtitles, you can't hear anything. You hear like,
I pretty much always watch movies with subtitles just because there's tons of things where either something's too loud or whatever, you just can't catch some of the audio or some of the vocals. So it's you kind of get a little bit more from it when you can.
Hold on.
When you have subtitles.
Yeah. It's out of battery.
Yeah, battery died. Sorry.
Subtitles, right. Oh, which, I was going to say to that, even though I, will praise the sound design in this movie, fully, the mixing, no. The mixing is off.
What do you mean by the mixing?
So, what I mean is by, the levels of different sounds.
Oh, yeah.
So, I was watching it with my stereo, and, there would be talking that I was like, what the fuck? And I blast it. And then there would be a sound so loud, I was like, oh shit, grabbing the thing, because I'm waking up the entire house.
When I rewatched it this time, I missed a decent amount at the start because I was just like, okay, this is too quiet. I can't hear what they're saying. And then something loud would come over, and I'm like, shit, I gotta turn this down. Yeah. So. Well,
I think they did that on purpose. I think maybe because when it's horror movies, whatever, they want things to be super where you blast the sound for when they're talking, so that when something is really loud that it scares you, right?
Yeah, but this isn't a jump scary movie.
No,
really.
I mean, so there's a couple.
There's a couple, when she runs out of when she had before they get to the commune, when she sees the sister in the reflection, she runs out and it's wee. It does that whole kind of intense music thing.
There's also one right at the beginning, right after the title card. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember being whoa. Because it cuts to a crow, I think, or something, and it flies at the screen for a second.
Oh yeah. Oh no, also the phone ring.
Yeah, it's the phone ring. Yeah, it was the phone ring that was oh.
Yeah, oh my god.
I think it's just bad sound mixing.
Yeah, you're probably
personally.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, because there's times that it's not even the whole prepping you for a scary moment or something. It's literally I cannot hear what these people are saying.
Right, exactly. So anyway, especially with that part, I would have because certain movies will put in subtitles for things they know that is hard to hear. Mm-hmm. They should have put that in for when the everything else was all muffled. Should have put that in because I was like, what? What are you saying? And as you hear him talk, you're okay, well, that makes sense. That's cool to hear, but you didn't know that right off the bat because it's very muffled.
See, I kind of have to disagree with that scene because I feel like it was really focusing on her reaction, and she was getting deafened by the fact that she just watched two people kill themselves.
Yeah, you're not necessarily supposed to know what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
because the character doesn't for sure.
I guess that's true. That's fair.
She's zoning the fuck out.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Okay, so next after that, the outsiders freak out and they want to leave.
That's really the moment when you start realizing for sure that there's something fucked up about this this commune.
Yeah.
Like there was hints of it,
Yeah.
but now it's like, oh, okay, this commune is fucked.
Yeah.
And so the guy disappears first. The Simon
Right,
disappears first.
yeah.
Connie's looking for him, and then one of the commune guys comes up and is just like, "Oh, he had to go. There was only 2 seats in the truck," and has all these excuses.
Oh, right, yeah.
and is like, no,
Took him
it's
into
fine."
town.
Yeah, exactly.
like,
And he's just waiting for you there.
He would have told me.
Yeah.
He's like, I was only room for 2 people in the truck.
And
it's
it
like,
takes a certain amount of time, and you miss the train, and blah 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 blah. And you can tell it's pretty lip servicey, and like
Yeah.
they're clearly lying to these people.
Yeah, you'd think, though, like, considering they do this, like, every year or whatever, that...
90 years.
Or 90?
Every
Yeah,
90
it
years.
was
Oh,
every
wow.
90 years.
Okay, I don't know why I didn't get that, but, like, okay, well, it's a long time for... Isn't the whole point of this... whatever, I'll talk about that later when it's, like, we get to it. But, so next, so that he disappears. She wonders where he went. Then after that, they're, like... I think they get pies, I think. Is that where the pie thing happens?
I think so. Either that or the guy talking to the like elder dude about the scripture that.
Oh yeah, okay. And so the pie thing was before that. They're I think I might be off a little bit, but it's fine. Where they're in the lodgings, and Christian comes up to Josh and tells him, he's like, "So I've decided that I want to ask you, or rather, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to do the thesis on this." And he's like, "I can't tell if you're joking or not." And it's like, "No, I'm doing it." It's like, yeah.
I have to admit, for a movie that's long and slow and tedious, I feel like scenes like that weren't necessary for this story.
Yeah. They felt
Like-
kind of like out of place a little bit.
Yes. And I guess it was to give some more development to the other characters and show like how backstabby and like
How shitty-
completely narcissistic this guy
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, like really shitty.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I mean,
It
okay. Well, the thing is, I would have been okay with is that they had a little more of that, because they just talk about the thesis like it's like a back thing.
Yeah.
You know, if it's so important to what they're doing, why isn't it coming up more? You know what I mean?
Well,
like
originally, I think just the Josh guy was going to be writing it about these guys.
yeah, but like the other guy is like it's just he's like I said before, he's it's like a one trick pony kind of thing where he only has like one not redeeming quality. He just has one quality, which is to just be a douche.
Yeah, kind of.
Around, and it's just like, what else are you? You're just like this person piggybacking off other people and just being just a general crappy person. Like, what the shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of, like, it probably didn't need this scene. Like, this movie is, like, 2.25 hours, 2.5 hours
Yeah,
long.
it didn't need to be that long.
And it's not the longest version. There is a longer version.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
I
Holy
think
crap.
they should have trimmed the fat a bit more. Like,
Yes,
I can agree with that for sure. Like I said, I don't think we needed the B plot of the thesis and the backstabbing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only reason I guess you can justify that scene is that it makes you accept that the Josh guy would go in and try and take those pictures because he's trying to one-up the other guy, right? He's
Yeah,
trying to get
sure,
something
yeah.
that he doesn't have.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So then after that, they go and they eat the pies,
Yeah.
I think. And I noticed as well, during that whole sequence, the woman that, like, apparently is gonna, you know, do a thing with Christian later, she's, like, making some sort of, she's like, etching something in a piece of wood.
No, that was the drink, I think.
No, well, I remember because I put it on my phone. I remember it as well. It's like she's just like sitting there, and like nobody's like. I mean, I guess you wouldn't really question it, but just in general, she's just like whittling something out of wood, and that's like the ruin that she puts underneath the bed or whatever. Like the
part
whole,
of this love spell or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm like, if this is something you do every 90 years, whatever, you think you have a better. Like somebody would be doing that for you, or off screen kind of thing, you know, like not in front of everybody, especially people you're gonna do other things to. I thought that was kind of odd.
Well, I mean, the question really is about that kind of stuff is it like, are these people 100% planned to be killed? Because I don't know if they are. I don't know if they had stuck to traditions, had not like fucked over any of their stuff. even the two that seem like the two others, Simon and Connie, they don't seem like they deserved anything, but they were like losing their shit during one of the most important rituals.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was enough to like offend them that they became the sacrifice.
Okay, so I have a thing to say about that. Apparently, because I've watched a few things about the behind the scenes of Ari Aster, and apparently he said that these people would have died regardless.
Oh, okay.
That it was a part of their ritual that they have like this certain amount of people to be sacrificed, which they need this. So they would, regardless if they stuck to everything that were just as good as possible, they would have still been taken out.
See, but then why call them New Bloods?
Well, because they're new, right? Like,
yeah, but New Bloods seems to indicate that they could become part of the commune.
Okay, so I think the way I'm thinking about that is remember they explain that like the oracle, which is a part of it, inbreeding.
Yeah.
Right. So the new bloods would be like a new bloodline kind of thing, I would imagine, where you because like when they, I guess it'd be spoilery, but we'll get there eventually anyway. Anyway, okay. So spoiler alert. Like, I'm not sure if there's anything else we can really talk about up to this point because I feel like is there really much else that really happens other than like. Well,
there's a dream sequence where she sees her sister dead with the people that had killed themselves, and then sees the rest of the people leave in a car, and she like screams out for them to wait, but black smoke comes out of her mouth.
Right. Okay. So anyway, so like later on, like you find out that like. That Christian was prepped to like have sex with the other lady that just freshly became like able to have sex, I guess. And the whole new blood thing makes for me because like the oracles are made specifically through inbreeding. They do that on purpose, and this is like a new bloodline where like you have somebody from they'll bring somebody in, which I thought that's why I thought it'd be a little more than 90 years because you bring people in so you're not your whole commune's not inbreeding. You have people from outsiders doing the thing to like pregnate these people, so then you can bring your commune back up, kind of thing.
So I think that they actually have a Midsommar festival every year, but they only have the one where they sacrifice people every 90 years.
Okay, I mean that would make sense.
I got that general understanding. So there would be other people because they had their sections of ages of what the commune saw. As like your pilgrimage is when you're like 18 to 36 or whatever.
Yeah, and then 36 to 52 is when you're is when you're a elder, and then something 52 to 52 to 72 is elder, and
you're a worker in between.
That's right.
You're doing work on the commune.
Yeah, and that's the thing we didn't mention before is 72 is when you die. Is when you are bludgeoned to death or off the cliff. It seems like a pretty shitty. I don't want to do that.
Which I feel like. That's why I'm saying I think they do the Midsommar every year, and they have their elders die and everything like that, but they just don't do this big sacrifice where they actually like make a May Queen and have like outsiders actually be sacrificed and stuff like that.
Well, I think
people sacrificed.
Yeah, well, I think that like the reason why like I'm thinking like the fact that they bring these people in to impregnate said people, so they can bring the commune back up, is because they keep killing each other off. If they never did that, then they'd be nothing. They would kill themselves off.
Well, yeah, but they only killed themselves at 72.
No, I know, but like eventually, like I say, the whole crowd, right? Eventually, all of them are going to become 72 at some point. So they're all going to die. So then they need to keep pregnating themselves to.
They mentioned that they are allowed to have cousins mate. So.
I'm sorry. What?
They allow cousins to mate.
Yeah, but that's to make the inbreeding organs, I think, right?
No, cousin. They consider cousins mating not incest.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
they are still procreating, but they need to bring in new blood every once in a while in order to maintain genetic diversity.
Yeah, that's the best way of saying it. There we go. Perfect. So like that's So anyway, so after that, he's like they go to the pie thing. He finds a pube in his pie, and Mark is like, "Is that a pube in your pie? What the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, this place is weird or whatever." But they kind of just like they shrug it off. It's like I didn't want to eat like hair pies or whatever. I'd be like, "Why is there hair in my pie?" I mean, to be fair, that happens. But like if it's like
short and curly,
short and curly. I'd be like, "Gross." Yes. But like after that, I think what we can skip to is the fact of Josh eventually goes into the
Well, actually, at the pie eating thing, Mark gets taken away by that girl.
right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mark gets taken away by that girl. She's like, I want to show you something. He's like, she's gonna show me something. See you later, kind of thing.
No.
And apparently, oh yeah, and
After
also,
he peed on the sacred tree.
Yeah.
oh right, that was before, right? Yeah, and then like during that whole
I would
time,
not be leaving my friends.
The guy
if I
was just,
made
like,
that
staring at him,
mistake. I'd be like, please keep your eye on me at all times.
right? Like especially when he's been like, this guy's been staring at me for like, it's like he won't stop looking at me.
This guy's gonna kill me.
And then this girl goes like, come with me. I'd be like, no. Like, I'm good. Especially like when you're at a place you don't know what's gonna happen, or like, and it's all like you just see people kill themselves.
Yeah.
Like it's like no.
I'm just gonna walk home.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go.
Which is kind of, I don't understand why the Connie and Simon, but I'm guessing they didn't let them do that. They basically grabbed Simon and
Yeah.
threw him in the hen house and
Yeah.
cut him up.
Well, they obviously had like Connie and sorry, name
Simon.
Simon. Thank you. Connie and Simon were there for as cannon fodder. They were there to die, like just to die. But the problem is about about this movie. I know it's not supposed to be like a generic horror movie, but the kill counts in this, like the killing is just very like off screen.
Yeah.
And I would have liked a little more because like we'll get that in a second, I guess. But like so, like, the next thing is when Josh is going into the what is it, the library or whatever.
It's like
It's like a temple.
Temple-ish with like all their like scriptures and stuff like
because
that.
they have like multiple scriptures because there's always an oracle writing
Oh yeah,
one.
true. And so then he's taking pictures of it, and they've mentioned before you cannot take pictures. So he does that, and then he like notices in like the reflection some dude comes in. He turns around, he sees Mark with his pants not there. Like he's got his dick hanging out.
Just his dick swinging in the wind.
So in the wind, he's just like standing there. He's like, Mark, what? Like, close the door. You're not supposed to be here. And he's like, you're also naked. What the? And then gets like fucking smacked and dies. And like I thought that was cool. I didn't really know. So at first I was wondering why. Like at first I was like, is that Mark actually Mark? And he's just nude. And like he's like just brain dead. Why is it? Because like when he walks up to the body, he's like, oh, like why is he moaning? What the hell is that about?
Well, it's a dude wearing a Mark suit.
Yeah, but why is he moaning though? Why is he going? Ooh, you know?
See, I
thought
kind of thought that might be Josh making that sound.
Oh well,
Because he got hit on the top of the skull.
maybe, but it said. Oh no,
I didn't get
It said
that
it in the
feeling.
subtitle. It said man moaning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and at first I was like, maybe it's one of the oracles that they got.
Oh,
and maybe,
you know what? It might have actually been the Oracle because the Oracle sleeps in that place. So the Oracle might have watched that happen and then started moaning and making those noises because he couldn't really talk. He was.
Oh, maybe. Well, at first I thought that the guy wearing the
That was
Mike
kind of
suit,
what I got.
The Mark suit was that because like they can't really talk. They're inbred, so they're all like because he's like just there to like get something off guard. But it's like weird. It's like you were wearing that because you knew that he was going to come in here to take pictures. The weird thing about that is like. It's a weird offset scene that kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, but also if you think about it too much, it doesn't make any sense. Because was he just walking around with that on just cause?
Walking around in the Mark suit. I don't know.
Yeah, he just wanted to go for a stroll in the Mark suit.
Yeah. So like that, I thought that was pretty creepy, but didn't really make a ton of sense for me. Anyway, so what did you guys think about that scene?
I enjoyed it, but yeah, I can agree that I find that this movie has, in my opinion, a really good beginning. And I really enjoy the ending.
The ending is pretty good,
but it kind of loses steam, and
the middle is
not just because of the slow pace, but also because things start making less and less sense as they're going further into the describing of this weird commune place, right?
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same. How about you with the whole scene? Anything to add?
It was a decent scene. It's just. Yeah, I'm not really. I don't particularly like it or dislike it.
That's fair. Okay. Like at first, I was like, he's nude. Okay. So anyway, so now I can mention it before is so in the lodgings they're staying at, there's a picture of just legs, and that's supposed to foreshadow that, I guess. And I guess that's also a thing that apparently Vikings used to do, is they would wear the bottom half or whatever of their kill to for some reason. But apparently they did that.
I've never heard of that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, which I don't.
Also disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I don't really understand it at all, but apparently that's what they did. And apparently there's also somewhere as well that like not just a picture, but there's also a like it's also encased in glass or whatever that like of just like a pair of legs, like his legs are there, being being displayed. I've been told anyway.
Okay.
So I was like, weird. Okay, but anyway, so the next scene I believe is so Mark is dead, Josh is dead, and then after that they do the whole running around-y thing. That like when the
Well, yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about with the etching. They grind up something. It's
Oh, yeah, I know.
it's some
Yeah,
sort
she
of-
grinds up some herbs
Yeah.
or whatever.
yeah.
Mix it in with some water, make some psychedelic tea.
Yeah, no, I was talking about like before when she's etching into the wood is when they're all eating the pies.
Yeah,
It
no,
switched-
no.
there we go.
I know now. I was just
Okay.
saying that's what I was getting confused.
Gotcha, fair enough.
But yeah, then they
Dance.
get fucked
They
up
do
and
the
they start
maypole
doing
dance.
Maple dance
yeah.
for fucking ever. Like, why does it need to go on for so long? Like this movie is so much better. I feel like if they just went to like an hour and a half, you know, cut all that shit fat down,
Yeah.
and then it could have been a very strong film. But there's a lot of like meandering that it's just like, just get to the fucking point. Just get to the point, you know. But anyway, so that whole thing happens for quite a long time.
See, I personally like the maypole dance. Honestly,
That's fair.
I like the way that not only does she like immediately start to feel like you'll notice that her facial expressions in this movie, she basically doesn't. She only smiles like 3 times in the entire movie.
Who? Sorry.
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh.
Oh, Danny. Okay.
Yeah.
Danny. The first time is when that maypole scene starts.
Yep.
And she starts moving with the people, and she looks around, and she suddenly starts to feel good.
Yeah.
And she puts a smile on her face, and they start dancing around, and she's actually like having fun and feeling good for the first time since the beginning of the movie.
It's true. Yeah. Right. For sure.
I also like the way that, like that also, like I mentioned before, the psychedelic thing. Like, holy crap! During that scene and during the scene after, like, it is in full swing, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
She starts speaking Swedish.
Yeah, it's like, but she's not. She's like, hi, she has,
well, it's like mumbled Swedish.
apparently it's not Swedish at all.
No?
No. Like they try and make it to be able to be Swedish, but even Ari Aster mentioned it was like she's just drugged up and just starts saying
Mumbling.
things, mumbling. Like she's like, I can speak Swedish now, and it's like, no.
She's not, but like somehow she's communicating with.
Well, yeah,
the other
because they
woman.
know, because like they're just like they've had this enough times that they know what she's saying.
Probably like body language and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everybody's also fucked up, so they
Yeah,
can kind of
exactly.
figure out what
Yeah.
each other are trying to say.
It's like, I'm that fucked up too. I totally get what you're
Totally
saying.
understand. But it's like at first I didn't like the dancing scene because I was like, why are they fucking dancing for a bajillion years? Like, and then like I didn't understand the whole idea of it because it's supposed to be like the last one standing
Yes.
is the one that becomes May Queen.
I didn't mind it. It does go on a little long, but yeah, it's an all right scene.
I feel like with the whole
Yeah.
longer version thing, it probably could have been worse. Because it cuts away from it a bunch of times too.
It does,
So
yeah.
I feel like they probably Ari Aster was like, "Damn it, I wanted this whole thing in here, but it's like way too much."
Right. And Christian's like there on his own, and they're like, all right, drink this. And he's like, I feel like I'm gonna have a bad trip. And she's like, it's fine. He's like, okay, just drinks it. And it's like, okay, like
I
just,
mean,
you
that's
just don't
kinda like
really like why you
Shrugged
drinking
Shoulders is basically that guy's character. So
yeah. Like personally, I'm not gonna go to like some like. I mean, I guess it really depends on the fact of like I wouldn't know until I'm actually there. But like, I feel like if people start giving me random drinks, I'd be like, no.
I'm gonna pass on this,
Pass.
especially since 4 people have gone missing.
yes,
Yeah, especially if it's like a psychedelic. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I am. I'm gonna flip out. Like, but I even have a bad time like with my trips, whenever I've done it in like a comfortable setting.
you also have to choose to believe whether or not there's actually some weird supernatural shit going on, and that like love spell is already working.
Yeah, that's the thing too as
Because
well.
in the like tapestry, it's not just like hearts and stuff around him. His like eyes,
Yeah,
get
swirl.
hypnotic. Like
Yeah.
so, he's basically hypnotized. So like that's why he's so agreeable. Like she just goes, "No, it's okay, just do it," and he goes, "Okay."
Yeah, that's fair. So after that, and she gets crowned May Queen. She like fucking gets like, they bring her to the table to have dinner or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and like, and Christian is having such a shitty time. He looks like, and the guy like claps in front of his face, and I'm just like,
he is so fucked up.
Yeah, and even though this guy sucks right now, like, and like people saying this, of course, many reviews of being like, even though this guy sucks, you feel for him. So I'm just like, oh, this feels
you tripping
so
balls,
bad.
and some guy's just like,
and like,
you ask him a question, and he's just like,
he's like, stop it. And just like, I just felt really bad. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Like, that's mean. But like, especially like his face, it looks like a lost.
They do in this movie to these people.
He looks like a lost dog. He's just like looks very like just hurt and just like
he looks like he's gonna barf.
Yeah,
like he just looks.
Well, he's gonna cry. Like he looks like he's gonna like lose his shit or something. Because like she's now being crowned May Queen. Everybody's like paying attention to him. He's just by himself. He's like, I don't know what to do anymore. And he's like clap face. I'm like, nah, stop it. I can't remember if it was before where they dress him in the outfit. And he looks at like the wall, and it shows like a flaming fucking bear, and just like, and they talk to him about something. They don't tell him he's gonna be sacrificed or anything like that, but they say like something about. Did they explain that he's gonna have sex? He's gonna have sex with the lady, or?
Yeah. Well, he has a meeting with one of the elders, the previous May Queen. I believe that's what she is. I believe that somehow.
Oh, the
old lady.
Yeah.
Old lady. Okay.
Which, although if it's 90 years, like, do these people have longevity or something going on too?
Yeah, that's weird, right? I don't understand it. Anyway,
well, like you were saying earlier, like I feel like they probably do have more May Queens throughout, but it's like. I guess like they do the big one every 90 years, and then they have Midsommar like every year, and maybe when that May Queen starts to get too old, they bring in a new May Queen.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean that would make sense to me, because it's like if they're 90 years apart, but they're only living to 72.
Right.
Right, because they die at 72. So
yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you've got to have at least two May Queens in that time.
Yeah.
And like, wasn't there a bunch of pictures on the wall?
Yes.
There was
So they were
pictures
because they were actual photos, weren't they? They weren't just drawings.
Right.
So you'd have to have.
Were there?
Yeah, because 90 years ago, you're not going to have a color picture.
I don't think they had actual pictures though. Like actual, you know.
They had photos.
Yeah. Did they? Where?
It was in their lodging, but it was in, like,
it was
corner.
early on, and like I think it's Christian is standing there looking at them, or maybe it's Josh.
It might be Josh because he's the one interested.
Yeah,
still at that
and
point,
he asks, he's like, "Are these the previous May Queens?"
Oh yeah, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. So after the whole clap thing, then he is directed towards this house.
She goes to bless the crops and the cattle.
Right. Yeah. She gets in this weird kind of like carriage thing. People, like carry her away. And he's like, I'm by myself now, and like I can't remember what it segues to and how it segues to it actually, because I didn't watch that last night. I stopped because it got way too late.
There's a lady with like a basket, just like making a path of flowers.
yeah.
Like,
she like
to him, and then she's like, "Come with me, come on."
She's like, okay, gets
all
up.
of the flowers to fuck.
Yeah, right. Oh, and then he goes into the place when he sees like the burning bear on the wall, and then he goes into the place. And then you notice that there's a bunch of new people around, and the lady in the middle, and she's like, "Have sex with me," and he's like, "Okay," and that scene goes on for so long. And
this is one of the parts where, like, when I watched this the second time, I was doing other things because I'm not a fan of this movie, but I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna have to watch it again, I'm gonna do some other things. At this point, I was like, I'm fast forwarding.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're playing out, you're like, it's like, oh my god, stop. But yeah, so like they moan and shit, like with her or with him, with her.
They are singing to her moans.
Yeah, like so, like the whole point of some parts of the movie is like when the people you mentioned before, when the old people died. And the one old dude was not quite dead yet. Everybody was freaking out and going like, because you're feeling the pain of the person, or you're trying to like be like
be showing how empathic towards each other they are.
Yeah, like collective being like your pain is my pain kind of thing. I'm feeling it with you kind of thing. Also, you're not alone.
It comes
in
up
this.
like right away again here too.
Yeah, because Danny sees Christian having sex with Maya chick.
Yeah, and she freaks out,
and her handmaidens kind of people like just start screaming with her, and like and actually, like, you can tell that she's, like, drawn into this, like that she actually, like, it's helping her.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Sorry, like when I was watching that, I'm like, the thing I'm thinking right now when they're screaming to each other, how hard would that be to film? And the fact of like just screaming in front of a bunch of other people, I feel I would just be very off-put. I'd be like, and just be like, like at first I'm like, what the shit is going on? Why are they freaking out? But then I had to like think about it. I'm like, oh. But like at first I'm like, can you guys shut the fuck up? Like, but
I mean, it happens one more time at the end with
with
the actual sacrifice.
Yeah. So anyway, so after that, then after he's done, the Christian guy, and he like comes to and he's like, what have I done? And then he like runs out of the thing with his dong hanging out.
Yeah. He's just like straight up nude.
Yeah. And he runs off, and you see in the garden there's like a foot hanging out, and I'm
pretty
like,
sure it's Josh's
why
foot.
is that there? And like people have been saying like it's probably just like for the audience, like it's being like, you know, shit is going down now, foot in ground, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, are you growing a Josh or whatever? What's happening? Or fucking Mark or what the fuck like that is?
I guess it's supposed to show that, like, because she's clearly been, Danny has clearly been, like, influenced by these people.
Yeah.
And so has he, right?
Yeah.
Like, out of all the characters, those two were the ones that were the most influenced by the commune.
Yeah.
And so I think when he's running around, that foot in the garden is basically to show that, oh, the veil's gone. Like he's like now completely aware, oh my god, why are we here? We have to get the fuck out of here. And then immediately he gets fucked up.
Yeah.
He finds Simon's body hanging up.
Yeah.
And, like,
With his lungs pulled out of his back.
Yeah, so apparently that's a Viking torture method, apparently.
Yeah, but I don't think you'd still be alive.
Apparently it does. Okay, so like I did a little bit of research on that, and apparently like they used to do that where they pull the lungs out to simulate wings, but like, and they would live for wouldn't be long, but they would live for a bit, and it's just a torture method.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's called like a blood angel or something.
I think, yeah.
It comes up in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, does it?
Okay.
Okay.
Like they don't actually show it or anything.
They talk about it?
No, they might. I can't remember. Anyway, it is talked about, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I would expect that to kill you pretty quick.
You'd think, because when it's like out of your body, you'd bleed so bad, right?
Yeah,
So
and
you'd
they'd
be
have
dead
to like
that, but
break all your ribs, like
Yeah.
at the spine in
They
order
may-
to pry that open.
true, but they may like. To be fair, I mean, that was Viking times. I mean, you could do that now, probably. Like, if a surgeon wanted to, that'd be kind of fucked up to have that in a horror movie. Like, where a surgeon would like bring out do the exact same thing, but like sew it up around, like the things you're not bleeding out. That'd be fucked. Anyway, like,
I think it looked like they did that to him post-mortem.
yeah, and he had flowers in his eyes.
Yeah.
Apparently. So anyway, so he walks.
I don't think he's not dead.
He's not dead.
No?
No, you can see the lungs.
No, he's not dead.
Can you?
Yeah, you
Expanding
can.
and
shit.
I rewatched it, and yeah, the lungs are breathing.
What?
They're going like this.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, so anyway, so Christian walks in, goes like, what the
missed
fuck,
that.
holy shit, and then like when he turns around, the guy goes like, dust in face, and he's like, nah, and then fucking like,
Yeah, it's some sort of like
paralyzing.
knockout dust.
And then he closes his eyes one by one.
Yeah,
it's like, doo, doo.
which actually I like that shot a lot, where it's like literally half the screen goes black, and then the other one,
yeah,
you're
yeah, it's like,
oh yeah, that I kind of That's like because they open them back up like that too.
Oh yeah. And then I think afterwards you see like the bear is dead, and they're like gonna stuff him in the bear suit, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
first they kind of have that meeting where they're like, all right,
And they play bingo.
yeah, they play bingo.
Oh, yeah, they play bingo, right. And he's like, and she's like, you can't move, you can't speak. All right, good. And walks off, and it's like, okay, I don't know if you really need to say that. Like, we can probably pretty much tell. But he's just like,
I think that was more for the audience, so that people weren't going like, "What is he doing? Why isn't he like reacting?" Or
well, that would just be, yeah, for sure. And I got that, but I feel like they could have done it in a way of his acting. He could just be like this, and like, I think he moved his head too much. Like, because if you're paralyzed, you'd be like, not really moving. But
I didn't really notice.
he moved his eyes.
he moved his eyes, but he.
I don't know, if
or
he
maybe
moved his
not.
head so much.
Okay. But anyway, so they do that, and Danny has a choice, or I think to make him be the sacrifice.
They talk about all the other sacrifices, like the new blood, and like we've done this many sacrifices, whatever. And then they do the bingo thing. I'm pretty sure that's to select someone from the commune.
Yeah.
So she can choose either him or the random person from the commune.
Oh, gotcha. And she was like, "I've been hurt by you, so
You're a piece of shit.
Time to die." And I'm
And
like,
see,
hey,
like,
even though he sucks, I wouldn't be like.
This scene is why I know Ari Aster said like they'd all die anyway, but like I feel like Because the way they talk in that scene, it kind of seems like, hey, okay, we have these 4 new bloods that are going to be sacrificed, so we have to sacrifice that many of our people too. So I feel like originally only 2 of them needed to die.
Well,
I think only 2 of them need to be sacrificed because it had to equal the amount of people that they were sacrificing as well, which was the 2 elderly.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
But they also sacrifice the 2 people at the end in the fire, don't they?
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. I think that the other characters' actions of, like, for example, Josh taking the photos and Mark pissing on the tree kind of led to them getting killed, and because of that, they had to add 2 more, because they always have to be even and then have the one that's chosen.
Okay.
Well, but in general, like, also, I don't know if they, I don't know, the fact of, like, whatever Ari Aster wanted to do, there's probably a decent amount of plot holes that don't make a ton of sense, but which happens in movies. But like, if they were just not gonna say, like, they all, like, you know, cooperated and they only killed off, like, the 2 people they needed, other people could either go, which they can't go because then they're gonna tell everybody where they are, and they don't like that. So I think everybody's about to die regardless. It's just maybe they weren't about to be sacrificed in such a way, but they would have been killed because they don't want to be outed. I think. I don't know, who knows.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after that, she chooses him. He gets put into the bear suit, and then he gets dragged to, like, the temple, which is this big yellow building. They put him, he's just like, with his wide mouth and his eyes, she's like, what the fuck's going on? And he's just like in the bear suit, looks so silly. I was just like, I was kind of like, this would really suck. But then they, like, bring in the, and then it pans over, or not pans over, but it changes shots to Mark, and he's, like, stuffed with hay.
Yeah,
right.
Like a scarecrow.
He's got a scarecrow, and that what goes. What I said before, like, there was, like, apparently a lot of scarecrow pictures around.
Yeah.
And, like, scenes to, like, I don't know, to, like, foreshadow that for some reason. I don't know. It seems like just, like, unnecessary foreshadowing. But
yeah. A lot of the foreshadowing is, like, you're not gonna act like you see it or they say it, and you're like, okay, sure, that this doesn't mean anything until you watch it again.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, it's also like Easter egg kind of things. Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
And kind of gives you, like, kind of thing that you like. Some people just like to find those things. But anyway, so they bring so, like, this is the part of the movie that I quite enjoyed, in the fact of, like, you're seeing what they did to these people. Like it was off screen, and I don't like that, but whatever. And, like, you see these people, like, some of them have, like, trees coming out of their fucking body, and, like, their arms are cut off, and some have, like, apples in their mouths and shit like that, and Mark is a fucking scarecrow. Like, I was like, this is some fucked up imagery. Yeah, stuff with hay. And I'm like, this is some fucked up imagery, and I love this. This is great. But, like, because this just adds to, like, they're horrific and what they do. They're a cult. They're
yeah, it's totally a cult. Like,
yeah.
That's for sure what that is. And that's pretty gruesome. And then they try to give their people a
thing that won't make them feel pain,
anesthetic of some sort.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I laughed so hard when that happened. But also, it implements the fact that, like, they're good at manipulating, being like, this will help you, and he's like, yeah, I believe you. And then when he's engulfed in fire, he's like, and just, like, feels all the pain. It's like, yeah, you deserve all this.
It's weird because Christian couldn't feel it, or he couldn't react.
He couldn't react. Yeah. But, like, as the flames were, like, engulfing him, I was thinking, like, that would be, like, the worst. You can't move and you just are on fire. That would suck.
That would be pretty miserable.
Yeah. So anyway, so, like, the whole place goes up in flames, and Danny's in her flower suit thing, and
she's, like, just in a pile of flowers.
Yeah, and apparently it weighed 30 pounds.
That's great. You can tell she's, like, struggling.
She's like, yeah, and you can tell, like, it's a little bit of, like, a nitpick. It's just kind of funny when you notice, like, when I think when she's walking towards the flaming temple, you can, or no, it was before she's walking from the back. You can see, which in the next shot is doing, like, a side pan, and there's a track. They left the track for the dolly for the camera. Whoops. There, and it's like, because that goes nowhere. That's not a train track. And people were like, that's weird. Why is that there? But anyway, so that's basically the end of the movie after that. But, like, well, she smiles and finds, like, some sort of, like, you know, a home that she never had before, I guess, or hasn't had in a while. And the place is engulfed in flames, and all the people are freaking out, like that are watching this whole thing happen. They're just like feeling the pain of the people that are dying as well.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends, I think, right?
Yep. No, it cuts to black as soon as she smiles.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, at first, like, I wasn't a huge fan of that ending, so I was like, okay, so this thing is basically showing her to be the good guy, of being like, she, like, it was okay to kill this guy, and now she finds family, and that's okay, and that's good. But I don't think it is that anymore. I think it's
more like masterclass in this woman gets gaslighted easily.
Yeah, another gaslighting thing, exactly. Being like, you're gaslighting another gaslight. Like, you're being taken by a cult now.
Yes, basically. Yeah. She's been indoctrinated. Yeah, into this cult.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You were gonna say something there, Will? Or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so that's the movie. That took about an hour to explain.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, I can cut some things up. But anyway, so right now, let's go to the other things I want to sort right at the top. Okay, so best parts and why of this film.
I mean, we kind of already mentioned it. Like the psychedelic imagery is probably the best part about this. Like,
okay,
because. Yeah, it's so accurately done. And
yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. I think it has a strong start. Like, I enjoyed the start of this movie, and then it just falls off immediately for me. So
totally fair. Yeah, I thought the same thing too. Beginning was great. Almost the entire rest of the movie is just meandering, and I find myself very bored. Then at the end, it starts kicking up again, and then you feel like, whoa, but then it ends right. Okay, well. So that was for me, but I like the cinematography, the music, and the fucked up imagery that is shown when it's shown. Just because it kind of like shows how fucked up these people are.
Yeah.
You know. So worst parts that you did not like. Maybe worst part.
I mean, I already mentioned that it's like I feel like the B plot of the thesis is just extra unnecessary fluff that's could probably cut out of the movie, and it still will be what it is.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, that's a strong point.
Yeah.
Like, this movie goes on far longer than it needs to.
Yeah, that I agree with that as well. It's too long, a lot of meandering. Could be cut down. If it was cut down, it could be a lot better.
Yeah.
It did not need to be 2 hours and a half fucking long. Like, no, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I was looking at the timer quite a few times, you know.
Yeah.
That's never a good sign when you're looking. How much is left in this movie?
Right, that's never a good sign. Worst favorite characters. Character.
I mean, Danny, obviously. Like,
Danny?
and it's mostly because of her performance. Like,
yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't particularly like her character.
No.
It's all right, but her performance is great. She does a great job with the performance.
Fair enough. Yeah, same here. Like, everybody else was bland and boring to me.
Yeah.
Danny was the one that kind of stuck out. The only reason why she sticks out, her character, as you said, is not really the greatest, but when she is acting towards the trauma side of things, she can really make you feel it. Mm-hmm. And she's really good at that.
I don't mind Pele. Pele's okay.
Pele, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Even though he is from a psychopathic cult.
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't know
I just mean in the context of the movie.
Yes,
I don't think I'd be like, hey, bud, let's hang out.
I'd like to know how long they were friends for, Pele and them. Unless they've explained it.
I'm guessing it's probably like a single semester or something like that.
Okay, yeah. But I was like, also when I was watching, I'm like, how are you guys friends? He doesn't really do anything. He's just around. He's like, what are you drawing? Picture of a table. Okay. And just like when they're hanging out, he's mostly quiet.
I mean,
and it's just like, why are you friends?
You mentioned it before. It's kind of a problem. The friends don't feel organic at all.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the D&D thing where it's like, you all start in a pub.
Yeah. And, I mean, it literally does. Right. That's exactly how it happens. It's like a pizza place or whatever it was. And they're just all standing there.
None of you know each other, but you're friends now.
Yeah, like, exactly.
All right. And it's like, yeah, okay.
It does have that feeling.
That's a good point. Worst characters.
I mean, fucking
Christian,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian, yeah. Well, he does the job of, like, making you hate him.
Yeah. And Mark's pretty brutal too. He's like,
I think I don't like. Okay, so Christian was there for a reason. He's there to be. I mean, so is Mark. He's there for comic relief, kind of. But I don't like.
So you say comic relief, but you know, you guys talk about how long this movie is. and how like boring it is.
Mm-hmm.
The comic relief didn't do its job.
Yeah.
So it wasn't fucking necessary.
No, it was not
He was not
necessary.
comic relief. He was just kind of another
Annoying.
douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, the three of them, Christian, Josh, and Mark, none of them are likable characters.
No.
No, hold on.
And
Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't think there's a single likable character in this movie. Because, yeah, they're like all horrible people. Again, the only thing you can really connect to is like the grief, I guess, of,
yeah,
of
they're...
Daddy's character.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess they're all going to die anyway, so like they don't necessarily want you to get attached to these characters, but that
Yeah, well, the problem is
that
about
might have been had a little bit more feeling if maybe there was a likable character that they kill off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of horror movies will do this, or like whatever you call this movie, will just like get a bunch of people that are just crap and just and they're there for to be death, like cannon fodder, so they can die. But that's usually because they have cool kills or whatever. Everything's done off screen, so you need to have these good characters to. What the fuck? Oh, hold on. The card's full now. Oh my god.
It's exploding.
Damn it. Card full. Okay, we'll switch out. Anyways, all the characters in this are unlikable, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, like, oh, I think Mark's kind of the better one, just because, like, no, I hate him. That's the worst one I was talking about. Like, because Christian has a reason for being there, kind of. He does, and Mark does not.
Not really.
Because that's the whole point I was trying to make with like horror movies and stuff like that. Like, they have these people, and they all have the comic relief guy. Every single one has that.
But like he doesn't even feel like comic relief.
He's just done terribly.
He just feels like a douchebag.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Like, they also make him to be a douchebag, to be like, oh, you don't care when he dies, kind of thing. But it's like, I kind of want a horror movie to happen when you see these characters and you care about these characters, and that's why it makes so much. You don't have to also like them all, but I think like a decent amount of them should be like, maybe not all likable, but like something about them makes them interesting.
Yeah.
So when they die, you're like, oh no, or like, yeah, he deserved to die, or whatever. So okay, so I'd say worst character for me is Mark. What would we change or why? We've already explained that basically over the course of the thing. So I'd say overall rating for it. What would your rating be on this?
I am a little bit more forgiving for this movie, so I don't know, something like a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I really like I said, I really liked it the first time.
Yeah.
But I was also in a place where I was easily connecting to Florence Pugh's character. But yeah, it does drag. It's probably unnecessarily long.
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah. So it's okay. I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it again. Probably.
Fair. Yeah, okay, that's interesting, because before you were like, I love this movie.
Yeah, and then I gave it a rewatch, and it kind of hit me more of like, oh, okay, this.
Yeah.
There are things I do love about this movie, like the psychedelic thing,
Yeah.
the cinematography, the sound design. All of those things are really good, but it does not execute well enough to actually like make a worthwhile film.
Totally fair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I'm somewhere between like a 2 and a 3.
Wow, that's
2 and a 3.
I'm just I did not. It's not a movie I enjoyed. The cinematography, the cinematography is fine, but that's not why I watch a movie. I don't watch a movie to watch cinematography.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would give it about 4. And like I said, it meandered too much. The kills that I wanted to see were off screen.
Yeah.
When they were shown, they were kind of cool. Like, the imagery was neat. The cinematography was cool. The music was good. But overall, it was just a meandering, for me, kind of a meandering mess that just kind of didn't keep me interested.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's any further thoughts on the movie or anything? Or you did?
I think we've pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
I think so, too. And, like an hour and a half. All right.
Ooh, it's gonna be one of those podcasts where the podcast is as long as the movie almost, except with this one because it's like 2.5 hours.
Right, exactly.
We'll see how much editing you have to do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. Stick around for another podcast coming out soon. We're going to be doing movies and games. So at some point or another, we'll be coming up with those. And I hope you guys enjoy this. And leave a like down below and all that. And when this is on Spotify, I can't remember what Spotify, if Spotify has like a like system or whatever. But if it does...
Like subscribes.
Subscribes?
Yeah.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind... and subscribe if you're not already, because there'll be more podcasts coming out for you soon. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys later.